2022 marks the 70th year of the rule of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. Her Royal Highness ascended to the throne on the 6th of February 1952, succeeding her father, the late King George VI. On this special occasion, the Ahmadiyya Muslim Community hosted a special event in Islamabad, Tilford, in honour of Her Majesty's Platinum Jubilee. The event saw dignitaries from all walks of life, including civil servants, mayors, as well as representatives of Her Majesty the Queen on this historic occasion. After the recitation of the Holy Quran and its English translation, Sir Iftikhar Ayaz, KBE, delivered a welcome address to the attendees.
It is an enormous privilege for me to have this opportunity to join you all in celebrating the Platinum Jubilee of our Queen Elizabeth II.
Following the welcome address, various speakers addressed the audience. Jonathan Lord, the Member of Parliament for Woking, offered a few words in recognition of the community's support for the British monarchy.
Here we are in Islamabad, and I've seen for the first time the beautiful Mubarak Mosque, and it's great that Tilford has this other amazing side to it. And on behalf of all the guests here, let me just say a few words about our hosts. As a community, I believe you exemplify the Islamic teaching that loyalty to your nation is part of faith. And that's why we see emblems of the Union Jack and speakers speaking so eloquently about how much they love this nation and love our nation's monarchy. So I wish you every future success in relation to your global headquarters here in Tilford, and for all the contributions that you have made, that you continue to make, and inshallah, I'm sure you will make over the coming years.
The Mayor of Waverley, John Ward, remarked on his meeting with Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad, may Allah be his helper.
I live in Farnham, so we do see an awful lot of your community, and the way you are in our community, I think, is a revelation and is an example to many, many people, not just people of faith, but all groups, how being in the community is just a thing which we should really strive for. I was very fortunate and privileged to have a short audience with His Holiness, which was really a very uplifting experience. And we talked about the mosque, which I had just been round and looked at. And it was really interesting because I remember a long time ago, I sat on the planning committee when the plan of that mosque came before us. And having watched it turn from ink on paper into this magnificent building has been really interesting. And this is actually the first time today that I've been to see it in the, I would say the flesh, in the bricks, so to speak. And I'm really, really impressed. I've been very fortunate to travel around the world, and I've seen mosques in many, many, many Islamic countries. I think the simplicity of form in the mosque that you have built here is really very uplifting and very, I think, peaceful.
Also at the event was Charlotte Matias, the treasurer of a local church in Tilford. She spoke about the fundraising efforts of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Youth Association, who offered to help the church after the collapse of its ceiling.
The figure that we have to find is £100,000, an enormous amount of money, and unfortunately the burden of finding this money falls entirely on the parish's shoulders. So, as treasurer of the church, I had a minor panic, and then I turned to our friends here at Islamabad, who are fantastic at fundraising, and said, please could you help us? And absolutely they did. And so the plan is, which Lukman will explain in a minute, is to run an interfaith fundraising event based here in the village, in the heart of our community, that can bring everyone together and help us save this precious building for future generations.
The guest of honour, Mr. Michael Moore Molyneux, who is Her Majesty's Lord Lieutenant of Surrey, spoke fondly about the Ahmadiyya Muslim community and its charitable works.
I would say it is events like today and communities such as yours that show the world the best of Britain. Your tremendous charitable services that we've heard of, that you have delivered to old and young alike, your care for the environment by planting thousands of trees each year, and with the Queen's Green Canopy continuing next autumn, we hope you will keep the impetus up on that. Your Feeding the Homeless project and blood donation drives are just a few of the many reasons that Britain can be proud of you. This is true faith in action, and I know that your community has suffered terrible persecution, but I also know that your worldwide leader, the Caliph, His Holiness, Mirza Masroor Ahmad, who is based, as we've heard, right here in Tilford, is a man of peace. I hope that your good works, your message of peace, and your philosophy of love for all, hatred for none, will continue to flourish, and Britain, and more importantly, throughout the world. Thank you.
The event concluded with brief closing remarks by the President of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Community UK, Mr. Rafiq Hayat, who then led those present in a silent prayer.
So I'd like to thank all of you who are here this evening, and I'd also like to thank the organisers who have been working very hard to make this thing happen. God bless you all. Enjoy. Thank you very much.
After the event, the MTA team spoke to some of the guests in attendance.
It's been very educational for me. I've learned a lot about the history. It's fascinating walking around to see the beginnings, how you came to London, and quite frankly, what a very decent, thoroughly decent people you are. The charity work, the tolerance, the trying to bring religions together, having faith and bringing it together, and trying to show that the world can be a place of peace and not a place of conflict. And frankly, I think many could learn from what I've learned from you this evening.
I think these events are so important because at the end of the day, we are all one community, and it's so important that we all work together, accept each other for who we are, and that we try to do what we can to help each other, to look after each other, and it sounds cliche, but to make the world a better place.
I've been in the UK since 1977. I have travelled the length and breadth of the United Kingdom, and I have never, not in this part of the country, I've never found anywhere so peaceful and so well organised. And having spoken to one of your colleagues a short while ago, it is most of the guys here are volunteer staff, and you guys are doing such a tremendous job.
Naima Clark, MTA News.